Okay, hey everybody, sorry about the delay. We had a bit of a technical difficulty with the Apple computer here. So, all right, let's get right into it. Very quickly, I just want to run the disclaimer in the banner below saying, hey, nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell securities. Nothing here is investment advice. Purely, we're talking about the charts. This is not official company information. And all that good stuff. And we're going to start off with the markets, the macro picture. By the way, I just want to tell everybody, we're going to have a new stock we're going to be introducing this week, Thursday, which I think is going to be very exciting. It's priced right. It's cheap and cheerful, under 25 cents. And I think it could be a... easily a double or triple, and we'll see after that what happens. But you know, it does have all the elements to be a 10 bagger. But right now the markets, you know, you gotta grab profits when you can. So some very interesting things happening in the markets. Let's kind of start off with Bitcoin first, because again, that is the speculative bellwether. Then we're going to talk about China, the China story, which is really the thing that's driving things. Okay, so Bitcoin right now, as you can see, it is below the 50-day moving average. It closed below that today. Actually, I'm sorry, yesterday. Follow through day today. So it is. If you kind of look at how this signal has worked out, it's been pretty accurate. Essentially, Bitcoin now is, looks like it's going to drop a bit here. It is a sell signal. As you can see, whenever the Bitcoin has closed above the 50-day moving average, we had a rallies, and you had a beautiful uptrend from back here in October 2020, from about 11,000. And you had a sell signal at 56,000, very accurate. And you had a bit of a fake out here, you know, a little bit of a whiplash, and then again, it broke above the 50-day moving average. You had a nice little rally, and now it's breaking below. So Bitcoin looks like it's going to be coming down. And the chart it doesn't look very good right now. Again, anything can turn around always, but what we're looking at right now, it looks pretty bearish, like it might drop easily to 30,000. You got support, a lot of support here in the 30,000 range. But if it breaks 30,000, it's going to be like a lookout below. So you got a couple of fundamental things happening right now we should be aware of. By the way, anybody that's brand new watching, click the like, subscribe button, leave your comments down below in the video. And if you want to join our Telegram channel, our Discord channel, our Twitter, the links are in the video description below. Okay, so let's, so basically the Bitcoin looks like it's going to be taking a bit of a hit. Now, what is going on with the rest of the markets? Let's take a look at ARK, the Cathie Wood stock. At this point, again, it's below the moving average, which has been pretty accurate with this stock. It is in defense. I don't want to say it's not an absolute sell signal right now, but it's looking pretty rough. Let's take a look at Tesla real quick. And Tesla has been holding up. It's, you know, in theory, this looks like a continuation of an uptrend, right? But you see, it's losing steam. This thing is really losing a lot of steam here. I don't know, I don't know what is going to be happening here. Let's take a look at the Dow. So the Dow, what's going on here? This is a pretty ugly chart. I mean, this is basically, I mean, you broke below the moving average. And today's action was not positive. Again, we need that. What is this? I don't know what I'm looking at here. Anyway, they're all the charts basically looking the same. You got this kind of drop coming in here. You have this, gap down, and I think it's gonna look pretty ugly. You're gonna have this kind of like waterfall type of crash, very possibly. There you go. So this looks really ugly. Today would have been a day, I mean, with a lot of the big cap stocks, it would have been a good time to get out of some of these names. Okay, so as everybody is probably aware now, all of a sudden, so 2 weeks ago, I think it was not this Sunday, the Sunday live stream earlier, I was mentioning, hey, I said at that time that I think the market was looking pretty good up until maybe January, February, and then we're going to see a big sell-off. I did mention things happening in China because I was starting to hear about this Evergrande, the real estate developer that's has $300 billion in debt, which can cause a whole domino effect over there, and things can really get nasty. And all of a sudden the story started getting some legs, and last week, Friday, people more talking about it. Now this is basically what is in the headlines right now. And I think this Sunday, I think I said some similar type things, but it's weird because a lot of our micro caps, our penny stocks are looking really good. We have some really great looking charts. So we're going to see kind of a divergence, it's pretty interesting. But the markets overall, I think, is going to take a hit. I think this China real estate situation, the developers, you know what? Here's the thing. You got to realize that, this new guy, this Xi Jinping, it's pretty interesting. He's actually a guy, whether you agree with the Communist Party, whatever it is, he's actually, the guy's a visionary. He's really a patriot. He's really doing what he believes is in the long-term best interest for China. And you can't blame the guy. He's not doing what's in the best interest of the world, of the U.S. I mean, he could give a flying fuck about the U.S. or the rest of the world, right? So, I mean, you saw what happened with the coronavirus. They let it out of Wuhan. Why? Because, they figured, hey, if we're going to go down, we're going to take the rest of the world down with us. And, that's, I don't blame the guy for thinking that way. So I think what's going to happen is one of the things that they want to do is they want to get their kind of economy. They want to bring more equality, or it's kind of they got an interesting spin on the communism. It's not quite communism. It's kind of not so. It's an interesting combination. But they want to have a more balanced society. They want to have more harmony. Harmony is a big thing in China and Asia overall, and he's willing to sacrifice a couple of things in order to have that long-term harmony and long-term prosperity, right? So you've seen some of the things they're doing. They're kind of shutting down the those English education things, the after-school stuff, because look, it was putting a pressure on a lot of parents to spend a lot of money to have their kids go to these after-school programs. It creates a lot of inequality. The big inequality is a big thing in China, which they're very concerned about. I mean, they don't want to have any kind of social unrest. I mean, you got 1.5 billion people. The last thing you want to have is social unrest, and it's pretty interesting. So what's going to happen is, I believe, again, the guys, what is it? So there's a couple of interesting things happening. Just read what's going on in China. So they shut down the schools, right? You see what the guy's doing. What is it? They put out an edict to ban these boy bands. These boy bands from like Japan and Korea, where these guys are like very effeminate looking. So they say, like, we don't want to have these effeminate guys on our TV because it creates a bad message for our society. We don't want to feminize our society. which is completely the opposite of where the Western world, the US, is going. I mean, America is becoming very feminized. You got this like crazy left-wing movements, and this guy is actually going in the completely opposite conservative direction. And why does he want to do that? Because he wants to have a strong society. He wants to eventually want to take over Taiwan. And you can't have that. You can't take over Taiwan if your army is guys, I don't know, whatever it is, dressing up as girls or what have you. I mean, that's what the U.S. Army is doing, right? The U.S. military is distracted by what do they have? Transsexuals in the army, bathrooms, all this crazy stuff that's happening in the U.S. military. Major distraction. I mean, the military should be focused on one thing: killing people. That's their focus, not nation building, not making peace. That's their focus. Their job is to kill the enemy, right? So Xi Jinping, smart guy, that's what he's focused on. So where's that going? I think that whereas the U.S. very weak. I mean, look, America in the last 20 years has become a very weak country. It is not what America was in the 50s, in the 20s. It's the U.S. has really been going downhill since Kennedy, since LBJ in the 60s. But things have really accelerated in the last 20 years. It's really kind of been becoming more decadent, more of a social decay. And again, I'm not here to talk about I don't have any opinion, whatever it is. It does have an effect on the markets, but what Xi Jinping is doing is he actually wants to, again, what happened with the U.S., 2008 mortgage crisis, the housing crisis, all that stuff. You had a lot of what is it called? Moral. What's the word I'm looking? Moral. What's the word I'm looking for? Okay, so basically in the U.S., somebody had a mortgage, right? Somebody's buying a house, buying 5 houses in 2007, speculating, buying houses, no money down, liar loans, right? In theory, if the housing would have gone up, they would have sold those homes, put the money in their pocket, paid the bank off of whatever the mortgage, and that's it, right? However, what happened was the U.S. allowed people to walk away, just walk away from their mortgage obligations, screw the banks. I mean, people who actually were in a position to pay the mortgage. There was people who were multimillionaires, basically just walked away from their house, let the screw the bank, and that moral hazard. That's the word I'm looking for. Moral hazard, and this moral hazard thing where you have this too big to fail thing, too big to fail moral hazard. Everybody right now in the U.S. is looking for they expect that they're going to be bailed out. They expect that, okay, the government is going to bail us out. Mommy and daddy are going to bail us out. So far, that's the way it's been going on, right? Like you got the government sending people checks in the mail. You don't have to work anymore. I mean, try finding a restaurant with decent service these days in the U.S. You can't because they can't hire people. They're getting free money from they were getting free money from the government. So you have this moral hazard. China is going in the opposite direction. So what is going to happen is Xi Jinping, I believe he's going to let Evergrande and a bunch of these other companies fail. Okay, and I think that is and he's willing to tolerate some very severe short-term pain, which is going to wipe out a lot of companies. And it's going to get things more in balance. It's going to bring their housing market into balance, and then eventually it's going to also give him more power, right? He's going to kind of, I guess, then come in and save the day. But they're not going to bail these companies out. I think China is going to let these companies fail, and what that is going to do, that's going to have a domino effect. The rest of the world, it used to be, what's that old expression? It used to be back in the day. They said, okay, when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches pneumonia. Now China really is that is the big player. So when China sneezes, the rest of the world will get pneumonia. I mean, no pun intended from the the coronavirus thing, but it is kind of funny though. So I think what they're going to do is that they're going to let these companies fail. And I think the guy would be very happy, thrilled if that wrecked the US economy, because then at least they would both be on equal footing. They would be at an equilibrium, right? If China goes down the tubes, they're going to take the US down with them. They're going to take down, who else? Who else is their competition, right? So I think that's what's going to happen. And that is probably what is driving these stocks, what's going to drive these stocks lower. So let me just pull up. Okay, so here we go. The bellwether of China, Alibaba. This is the Amazon of China. Look at this chart. This is a daily chart. This thing peaked. It's pretty interesting, huh? Peaked January, pretty much last January. A lot of the Chinese stocks are looking the same, right? And you had a bit of a rally, but then look at this. Now Alibaba could build a base around here, could build a base at 137, very possibly, but very easily it could drop, into the, I don't know, wow. It could go down pretty low, way under 100. So, hey, I think that's what's going to happen. Again, I might be wrong, but whatever. But in the meanwhile, here is the good news. For whatever it is, our penny stocks are like on fire right now. So let's get into it. How do we make money with these stocks? Okay, so now we've had a bunch of massive winners in the last 18 months. You see some of these on the screen. You got PKK up 20 times, CBDT up 50 times, 50x, ESC 1400, all these other stocks, right? And I think we're going to have a couple of big runs coming up right now. So let us start with what is looking good right now. Okay, let's start off with DELCF. We haven't talked about DELCF in a while. I did talk yesterday. I said on the live stream, this chart is starting to look interesting. And okay, this is a major buy signal right here. DELCF looks like it's going to explode. They came out with this news of buying these ketamine clinics, these psychedelic clinics. Essentially, bottom line, here is the bottom line. Here is your bottom line. Here is your due diligence, your fundamental analysis, right? These guys are the biggest, going to be the biggest player right now in psychedelics, in the psychedelic space, in terms of generating revenue. I think they're going to be doing, I think the guy talked about doing 15 million run rate by the end of this year. So they're on track. And, this stock, it could run. I mean, I think the market is looking for that psychedelic that's making money. Here you go. This guy has been like a sleeper. I've been telling you guys for a while, these guys, I mean, if you saw that interview on YouTube, check out the interview we have with Matt Stang back in, I think it was April, where I think the title of the video was DELCF, the path to a $5 stock, He kind of lays out what needs to happen, what they're going to be doing. Here is the path to revenue. They got, multiple, they got three parts to their business, which is they got the psychedelic, they got the lab business, they got the media business with events, all that other stuff. And then they got these psychedelic clinics, and it all kind of ties in. There's a lot of synergies. Very, very interesting strategy, right? So check out the video if you want to know how DELCF can be a $5 stock. Now, $5 would be be essentially a 15x from here, or almost a 20x from where it was just a little while ago. But listen, if the thing went to $3, I think a lot of people would be happy. Okay, VSB. So let's go into VSB. So a lot of our stocks are moving today. It's really impressive. Let's pull up VSB right now. So VSB, again, I think last week it looked a little shaky, right? I said, hey, this thing the move is not over. And sure enough, you got this turnaround. So like, what you're looking at right now, there's a lot of fake outs happening in these stocks. So you got to be a little patient. These support lines get violated, and then the stocks reverse. So you really need to you got to give these things a little patience. You got to give them a little leeway. Again, that is breaking discipline. If you're a very disciplined trader, probably shouldn't do it, but you kind of have to. So this thing is looking very bullish for tomorrow. I think Visby is going to do phenomenal. Over the, I mean, it's bullish for tomorrow, but I definitely think you're going to see, 250 on the stock very, very soon. The rest of my portfolio hedges my Visby position. Okay, that's smart. Listen, I think if you're buying these micro caps, you definitely should have some hedges. I don't know if you want to, buy the VIX, you want to, buy puts on NAS, whatever it is. But it's always good to have a hedge. Okay, so we talked about Visby. Okay, next up, I mean, look at this, it's amazing. Fans, nice turnaround today. It's kind of doing by the way, Fans live stream is tomorrow. I think we're going to have Darius. He's going to do a demo, new stuff you have not seen. You're going to want to watch tomorrow's live stream, 1 o'clock. I'm going to have him do a demo of all the cool things they're doing, the new games. They have a new game. They have sports betting stuff. He's going to be showing you stuff, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, this thing is looking good. Look, towards the close, this thing was ready to rock. I mean, this thing, when this thing closes above 93 cents, it's just waiting to break out of this dollar range. And when it does, that's it. It's taken off. Okay, Relic. Amazing. Look at this. Same thing with Relic. Yesterday, I told you. The daily chart on Friday, yesterday, it looked, Friday looked shaky, right? But you could see it kind of closed near, it bounced off the bottom of that range yesterday. What you saw yesterday was really like a fake out. It was really just a fake people out. And you could see it stayed above that 50-day moving average. And today, very strong follow, a gap up. I mean, so that's pretty impressive market action. And look at this close. You got this beautiful pennant happening here. Like this stock, again, towards the end of the day, this thing was ready to move. I mean, if we had another hour, I mean, that's what you got there. I mean, today is a key upside reversal day in Relic. So I think Relic, it's going to be back on. It's going to take a little while. I mean, this thing is not going to go straight up to $2 from here. It's not going to happen. It's probably going to bounce around $1. It's going to build a base in the dollar range, $1.10. It's going to take a few weeks because you had a lot of technical damage done when it broke that pennant from that $1.18 range. So you got to repair that technical damage and build a base in the kind of $1.20 range. It's going to take probably a month. And I think that's going to give it the platform. That $1.20 is going to be the platform for this thing to go to 250 by December. Okay, so ESC. Okay, so ESC is very interesting. Right now, ESC is looking very similar to this chart. It's kind of very similar to what's going on with some of our other stocks that already took off. So this is like a volcano. It's like smoking. There's little puffs of smoke coming out, and people think the volcano is quiet, but you can see it's kind of starting to, if you look or you zoom in here, the volcano is starting to rumble a little bit. There you go. You got seismic activity starting to happen. Things are starting to happen. Like, this thing made some runs. It's made some breakout attempts. Look at this. It's pulled back. So something is going on here. And I think that ESE is just waiting for like a catalyst. It's just waiting for that one piece of news. And then again, once you see this thing close above the moving average, which is going to be roughly at, I think if it closes $1.15, $1.20, that's like your all-in buy signal. Again, we're not giving advice here, but that's what the chart is saying. Yeah, so the question is, when is that going to happen? Now, I think ESE is going to go back to $4 at least. That's my near-term target. Can it go higher? Yeah, it could. I mean, look, here's what you got to realize. They closed their, is that the third acquisition? Yeah, so they just closed this digital motorsports deal. I believe that's generating 5 million run rate approximately. So they're doing right now roughly 20 million run rate annualized revenues. Now, 10 months ago when they first debuted on our platform at 30 cents, they were doing less than, I don't know if they were doing a million. They were doing less than 2 million. So their revenues increased 10x. That's the run rate, right? So, and they're still adding. So they're going to be doing more acquisitions. The guy said he wants to get to 100 million by December, by year end. Is Conrad going to get to 100 million by this end of this year? I don't know. It's going to be tough. But if he gets to even 30, 40, 50 million run rate, if they could do like one more deal, people are going to realize, okay, there's a pattern here. This guy's for real. I mean, you saw this thing happen with other stocks. It's the same movie. So it's going to be big. The potential, I mean, it's okay. So listen, if they're doing 100 million revenue, if they get to 100 million run rate, the market will value that stock at 10x, $1 billion plus easily. I mean, 10x, look, you saw the same thing happen with Peak FinTech, right? Peak was trading at $1 billion and change, right? I mean, and they're doing, I think they're going at 100 million run rate, right? So now here's the thing. I would not be paying 10 times forward revenues for a company that is heavily dependent on China at this point in time. Microcaps, anything. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with China right now. I think there's going to be some incredible buying opportunities in Chinese stocks in a couple of months. I think this is going to be a generational opportunity, but I think China is going to they're going to just let the thing get washed out, just like, everybody used to do back in the olden days. I mean, companies, if the economy is going bad, you don't keep it on life support like a zombie. You let companies fail. I mean, it's a free market, right? Okay, buying Visby and ESC, very good. Yeah, so here's the thing: is this phobia? People have been talking about this phobia. Now, does this phobia have any revenues? I don't know. I mean, this thing is crazy stuff. So again, this is the type of market you want to buy things that are cheap. You want charts that look like this. This is the type of chart you want to be buying. You want things that have revenues that are trading at cheap multiples. You don't want to be taking on big risks in a market that looks like it's about to just have a meltdown. Whereas, listen, these penny stocks right now are in a good position. So we talked about Visby. What else? We talked about RHT. RHT looking amazing. What else is up? TBP. TBP is actually holding on. It's maintaining. It's looking for a catalyst. It's actually holding on pretty well. So I guess we're waiting for just a piece of news which can get this thing moving. Now, here's another big winner, Logic. Okay, if you guys have been watching Logic today, this is really bullish looking. This is like look what's going on here. This thing catapulting, pivoting right off of this moving average. And I think we're going to see very fast move. I mean, look, this thing was up 50 cents today. It doesn't take a lot to move the stock. Again, we introduced this last year at $3.50. It went to $14 in 3 months, right? So it was a 4x in like a couple of months. I know, like, everybody's like, oh my God, it's trading. It's not a 5-cent stock. Oh, I don't buy stocks for more than 5 cents. Well, you buy less shares. What difference does it make? If you're going to make 5 times your money, you buy, I don't know, you buy 100, I don't know, you buy $1,000. If you're putting in, I don't know, 10 grand into a stock, right? What difference does it make if the stock is a nickel or 100? If a stock is going to go 5x, your 10 grand is going to become 50 grand. doesn't matter what the price of the stock is, the valuation. I mean, this thing is trading at 2 times the revenues. Their peers are trading at 10 times to 20 times the revenues. By the way, I'm not making any recommendations, buy, sell, any of that stuff. So this is, all these stocks are very high risk, and they can all go to zero, as you can see here. So so I'm going to jump into a couple of questions. Let me see if I'll go through a couple of the questions in a little bit. I just want to close out with make sure I cover everything. What's going on with AIML? I think AIML, now they're going to be back on our program next week, I believe. So you want to watch this thing. I think this is going to have a move here. You might test, the thing might test like the 65-cent range, the moving average. You might test it, and then it could really bounce off of there. So AIML, once this thing starts moving, I think you can see a substantial move. Okay, so what did I think we've pretty much, okay, so fans looking amazing. Visby, that I talked about Visby, right? Visby looking amazing. Logic amazing. RHT really good for this next few weeks. Again, you're not going to see a big move right now. You're going to see like a base. You're going to see this thing probably go to like $110, $120, build a base there for a little while. And ESC is like it's a volcano that is just starting to come to life. Okay, let me see if any questions. Yeah, FCO, same thing. FCO is a little bit like the chart on, it's looking for a catalyst, basically. It's looking for a catalyst. It's so interesting. So I think we announced this at 6 cents and went to 40 cents in like 2 weeks, right? And then the last 6 months, it's been hibernating. So what does it tell you? It tells you these stocks are very risky. Timing is everything. This guy's, I don't have it back yet. They have it. I guess we're waiting to hear from them. They get the board, they got to get approval, board approval, whatever. So I don't know yet. I mean, we don't have, the dot has not been, dotted line has not, to answer your question. Yeah, very similar. I mean, ESC, I think ESC is a little more like, you could see that thing has a little more torque to it. Okay, so tomorrow we got Fans Unite. Thursday, we're going to be introducing a new stock. It's trading less than a quarter. I think it's got a very good runway to be a double or triple very quickly, like in a month. Can go higher. And then, I think the thing, it's got the ingredients for a 10-bagger. Okay, it's got a 10x potential. It's got kind of all the stuff. But right now, I think easily you have that 3x, 4x, easily 2x to 4x upside. So I think anybody that's in that speculative mindset should definitely want to take a look at it. Okay, let me see if I can address, if there's any questions here. Okay, Bentley, thank you for signing in early. Again, sorry about the delay. The computer was acting up. TBP, the waiting game. Yeah, we're waiting for some news, but the stock is looking good. So it's not, I think if there's going to be news, it's going to be the move is going to be to the upside, basically. That's what the thing is going. Yes, the penny stock billionaires. Okay, so we got waiting for the right time for TBP. Okay, so Michael Mahindra has not bought TBP. Wow. Okay, I thought you were in. I thought you were in last March or something. I thought you got into this. Okay, I don't know. Okay, maybe maybe this could be coming up. I think on TBP. If you're like if you get that degenerate trader mentality, I would wait for the breakout above the moving average, because like a confirmation, like where you have a nice You get a nice high conviction close. So at this point, you'd be buying it at like 32, 35, 33, 34 cents. I think at that point, once the stock crosses 34 cents, it's going to be on its way to, you know, $1 plus. Yeah, first it's going to touch 50, but then it's going to be $1 plus. So, or you can take a chance and buy it here at 26. Everybody's got a different risk reward, you know, thing. It's a personal matter of personal taste, right? There's no right answer. So the fans thing is looking amazing. I think we're going to see fans, you know, 250, 350 very, very soon. Bitcoin, Mike, I don't know, man. You looked at that. Are we looking at Michael, are we looking at the same chart? I mean, I don't know, man. The Bitcoin to me looks like it's gonna crap out right here. Let's see here. Michael is our latest penny stock billionaire? Okay. Are you with which stocks? Were you? It was like, are you up 10x, 100x? What is the number? What is the number? Okay, so sold his position. Okay, it's taking profits. Okay. Mike, do you have PKK? He sold it. Okay, I hope you got out near the top here. And PKK had a very good run, up 20x, 20 times from the price we introduced it last year, 35 cents, which is 70 cents post-split. So, I mean, hey, usually I would say the stock goes 10x. The odds of it going above that, very, very low. But we've had a couple of things that have gone up beyond. We've had CBDT up 50 bagger, right? So, and we had a couple 20 baggers. But, you know, those things become very, very, that's the odds decrease. Nothing to do with the company, it's just the reality of the market. Okay, so we got GBLC. Ooh, GBLC. Oh my God. GBLC. Okay, so wow. Okay, hey, I think that's the way to. Listen, in a micro cap world, that is the smart way to bet. Now, listen, I think when it comes to like real stocks, I know that sounds bad. Okay, but companies, let's call it a you know, a company that's got like, you know, a NASDAQ stock, a New York stock, a company that's got like a solid model. You got you got management, you got model, you got massive, you got revenues, you got earnings, you got things going on. You know, some of those things. Look, we've seen Amazon go up, you know, 100x, whatever, Apple, whatever it is. You have those outliers that you know, where they become institutional favorites and all that stuff. That's how, you know, those. I don't think I've ever seen it happen in Canada, except maybe what is it? What's that? What's that Canadian? So there's a very rare. I mean, it's very rare for that to happen with Canadian stocks. So, okay, let me just catch up to. Okay, yeah, Visby's moving. Okay, so Jay, I just spoke to Jay by email. We're gonna have him back. I think next week. And okay, so what we're gonna do with Jay is this. Here's the game plan with Jay for Visby. I'm gonna have him do a couple of more of these demos. So we're gonna have these demo days where he's gonna show the video. So you're gonna see exactly what they're doing. And we're gonna do that for all the different components, because that company has multiple components. There's a lot of really incredible stuff, and you got to see it. It's a visual story, right? Visby, right? It's a visual. You got to see the story. So we're going to have them show you the demos, and I believe that when people see those demos, it's going to blow people's minds, just like you saw what happened last time. And I think also the positive side is I know a lot of people prefer when I don't talk and let Jay do the talking. So so it's not an interview. Just let him talk, and I just shut up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so let's see. Do you want to Facebook? What are you guys hooking up here? What's going on here? Okay, let's see. What's Delic is looking very, very good. VSB. Yeah, by the way, Logic. Let me just pull up the Logic. I think Logic, again, some of our big winners, our biggest winners all started off very quietly in stealth mode, whether it was Fans Unite at 20 cents. I mean, Peak Fintech started off 35 very slowly. The stock was flatline. Nextech flatline for a while. Cytodyne, I mean, CBT, they didn't just go boom like a skyrocket the first day. No, they were like kind of quiet, and sometimes they went through, but then all of a sudden, boom. I think the same thing is going to happen with Logic. By the way, Logic, for all you Canadians, it's available on the NEO exchange. You can buy Logic LGIQ in Canada on the NEO for your TFSA accounts. And of course, that is not a recommendation to buy or sell securities. By the way, we're on Telegram just in case. And we've got a lot of stuff on Telegram. You definitely should be a subscriber. Wall Street Report on Telegram. Yes. Yeah. Listen, one thing I do have to say, I just want to make one point very clear, right? In the microcap space, in the speculative stock space, right? When it comes to these, let's just call it a spade a spade. These are penny stocks, right? Some of these things are, most of them are, the companies we're dealing with for the most part are, the real companies that got revenues. Some companies are, a little more of a promotion, right? Let's use that word, right? Or some companies are a combination of the two. That's the reality of the penny stock world. So, in this penny stock world, you got to manage your risk. You got to get into things which have that asymmetrical upside, where it's low risk and 10x, 20x upside, whatever it is, right? But then you got to get out. I think a lot of people say, oh, we're going to hold on to this forever. I'm going to hold on to this 10 years, whatever it is. That's not the way to play these stocks. The reality is, once they go up, our stocks, once they go up 10x, that's usually a good time to get out and then parlay your money into the next deal, okay? You take that 10x, you put that into 2 or 3 other stocks, and they become 10 baggers, okay? Now, in theory, there might be that one stock that becomes 100x. It could happen. But it's not going to happen overnight. It'll take, I think these stocks, historically, the stocks that have gone up 100x takes them about 10 years. So if you want to wait 10 years, take a risk, opportunity cost, et cetera, go ahead. For the most part, a lot of these companies just are not going to be around. Either they're going to get bought out, they'll blow up. It's the venture capital business, right? I mean, again, everybody has a different idea, but the idea for the penny stock billionaire philosophy is you parlay your money. You make 5x, 10x in one stock, roll that into the next deal. You sell it and go into the next deal, because the odds, once things, the air gets very thin. Once things go up 10x, 20x, it gets very thin. To go beyond 20x, it's like, Mount, what is it? What's the highest mountain? Not Kilimanjaro, but the other one, the one where people die in that mountain in Tibet. The air gets very thin. The higher you go, the higher in altitude, the air gets very thin. It gets very dangerous. What is the mountain I'm talking about? Does anybody ever know which mountain I'm talking about? The one that's in Tibet, where people climb it. Or is it Nepal? Nepal or Tibet? Everest, okay? It's like Mount Everest. There you go. Everest. Okay, so it's like Mount Everest, right? I mean, listen, the idea is you want to, go high enough. You don't want to go all the way to the top where you might get frostbite, you might lose your fingers, whatever, or die, right? So there you go. All right, so let me just see if I can catch up to a couple of. Okay, by the way, a couple of people have been asking about bets. Okay, bets. This is the most embarrassing thing we have here. I'm ashamed to have this thing on our kind of board right now, not because it's a bad company, but because it's been halted for this merger and the whole management, drama, the soap opera that's going on. So I'm sure this is going to be resolved. I don't have any information right now. The last thing I was told was, I think a few weeks ago, we're working on it, it's closing, So I think what's going to happen is they're going to close the deal or they're not going to close the deal, but we got to get, closure right here, right? We got to get, because this thing could be moving right now. Sports betting is hot. These things are not, this is, look, this is speculation, right? Okay, so, the BlackBerry was never a penny stock. I don't think BlackBerry was ever a penny stock, okay? And I think somebody was mentioning, what's the Shopify? Shopify was never really a penny stock. Those were companies that had like venture capital back. They had serious vetting, okay? These were very serious companies from day one, right? By the way, a lot of times what happens with some of these penny stocks is you have something which, it's kind of like a fake it till you make it. A lot of these things are fake it till you make it, where, something might start off as like a promotion, a little bit of a promotion, or the business is kind of a half-assed business. And then these guys kind of figure, okay, we're going to pump the stock and then we'll buy a real business and then that'll become something. And then, and then you fake it till you make it. And then some of these things have worked out. We've seen many cases of success with that model. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you're going to make, do you really care if you're going to make 10 times your money? I mean, do you care if it's with a penny stock or a blue chip stock? I don't care. So, okay, VST, not a lot of VST fans here. Okay, so I think those were accounting profits. I think they're not actual cash profits. Yes, fans came out of VST. It did. Let's see here. Let's see. I think so. Hey, there you go. I mean, I don't understand when people, they get into these things, which, in this type of market right now, you want things that have substance. You don't want to be holding the bag when a stock, a hyped up stock, people all of a sudden, they realize, oh shit, the emperor has no clothes. I'm not talking about any stock in particular. I'm talking in general. You want things that have substance right now. You don't want to be, going into things which have very, very high market caps or anything like that. And, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Okay. I think I covered everything, right? Okay. We got everything covered. We got an hour. Okay. So bottom line right now for this week, for tomorrow, next couple of days, Visby looks very good. Fans, amazing. ESC, keep an eye on it. Volcano about to blow. RHT looking very good. Again, you're going to see probably a basing in the $1.20 range for, it might take about 2 weeks to build that base. But once it builds that base in that $1.20 range, it can go to 250 plus, maybe even $5 within 12 months. $5 might take, 6 to 9 months. 6 to 9 months, I think. Okay, TBP looks very good. DELCF. I mean, this chart, amazing looking chart right now. So DELCF is, I mean, listen, I think DELCF is going to be one of the big winners. This is like the what is that thing? The snail? No, the rabbit and the turtle, tortoise and the hare. So these guys kind of start off very quiet, and boom, they're just going to overtake the whole psychedelic space. I don't know what's going on with bets. Yeah, so we're gonna get bets. We gotta get the bets thing. We gotta get the bets thing straightened out. I'm gonna make a note here. Actually, I gotta try to get a hold of these guys by tomorrow or something. See what I can find out. But again, I'm just, it's like I'm not really close. Like I don't have like a close relationship. Like, so whatever they may tell me is, they're not going to really give me any deep information, I don't think. Okay, the Thursday stock, is it a Canadian one? I mean, Mike, is the Pope Catholic? Of course it's a Canadian stock. But it also trades in the US and also in Germany, I believe. So it is not the PBX. But it's a very interesting company. Price is right, and it's under 25 cents, substantially under 25 cents. I don't want to give too many hints because I know a lot of people are going to try to front run this. I think the company will probably be putting out an announcement tomorrow. So yeah, I think they're going to put out the announcement tomorrow, so it'll be public. And yes, I'm actually looking to, I got to get my the vaccine. I got to get the vaccine in order to. So I'm gonna have to take that vaccine, and so I can leave the U.S. Oh, and also I got to get my passport is expired. Otherwise, I would have gone to Canada. But I got to get my passport renewed. I got to get a vaccine. So let's see. But yeah, I'd like to go to Vancouver. Probably trying to think. I'd like to go this year. I'd like to go before. I just got to get my stuff. I just got to get organized here, and then we'll have the big Wall Street report, or we'll have the Penny Stock Billionaires Convention at a great place. And we might do something, maybe in Toronto also. Toronto, I don't want to go to Toronto in the wintertime. But BC, Vancouver definitely is on the to-do list. Okay, guys, thank you for joining. I'll see you tomorrow for Fans Unite, 1 p.m. Fans is 1 p.m. tomorrow, and Thursday is the debut of our next super stock, the next potential 10 bagger.